And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the next episode of Wisdom Transmissions Live. It's great to be here with all of you today. Adronis is going to be coming here in a few moments to talk about the discussion of the Earth's destiny. So I'm looking forward to that as well too. Then we're going to get into Q&A, and then we're going to end the broadcast today with a group healing session as well. So hope you're all doing well. It's great to have you here. We're going to firstly start off with some announcements.
Source Energy enhanced products to repair and rejuvenate the body. From the power of light to crystals to bed kits, card decks, and more. View our free samples, tutorials, and testimonials on our website, AetherX.co.
And on AetherX.co, we have some new products. One of the new products are the bracelets that I'm wearing right now. So these are wonderful. These have been charged by RAYD8 REGEN technology. As I've talked about, RAYD8 REGEN is the industrial strength version of RAYD8 itself. It is the most powerful. And so we basically put these downstairs for about a couple of days, and they're fully charged. So they're crystal, they're gemstone, and they hold that charge. And this is the scientific explanation as well too, is that when you have that powerful amount of energy coming into a gemstone or crystal, they can hold those charges for a couple of million years, right? So as soon as you have something as powerful as RAYD8 REGEN charging these, they're going to last a very, 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 very long time, for as long as these bracelets hold out. So again, you can check that out now at AetherX.co. We also have the brand new Taurus sleeping kits, okay? So those are in now. And what that represents is having a throw blanket and a pillowcase. Okay, that is the new Taurus bed. This is, again, much more affordable. It was much more easier to get than trying to get the bed kits. Bed kits were just, it was a pain and a half trying to get those things ready. And it was very expensive as well, too. A lot of companies charge an excessive amount of money just to get a genuine amount of them printed. Okay. So this is why I said, no, I'm not going to do that, because then I'd have to raise a lot of the prices on AetherX for people to get it, and I don't really want to do that. And I wanted to kind of keep this at an affordable rate. So that's why there's now the Taurus bed sleeping kits, again, which are grayscale in color. Okay, I don't have it with me right now, but they are grayscale in color, and they're all grayscale themes, so black and white, and they look great. They feel great as well too. It's that Sherpa fleece. So very beautiful, and they are available right now as well too. So you can go to AetherX.co and you can grab those. There's more products on their way as we move into next week. We're going to be doing a Dead Sea Salt detox mix that's going to be available as well too. I'm currently working on the new repellent spray. Okay, basically we call it the Source Charge spray. It's going to take me a bit of time to get that going because I have to do a lot of experimenting with it. I want to make sure it's quite efficient. So it probably might be ready by the end of May. We'll see. End of May, early June, around there. It just takes some time to get that ready because I do want to experiment with it. I do basically want to go outside where there are mosquitoes and I'm spraying it on me and seeing how they react, right? So we've got to test it out first before it's ready. Hopefully it won't take too long, but that is also in the works as well too. And we're having more products coming in. I'm getting engraving products. Actually, just to my right, I have a laser engraver. I have a 3D printer. We're getting the LED light mandalas, wall arrays that are going to be coming out next week. So those are going to be very powerful as well too, right? Those will have the rainbow-colored LED light arrays wrapped around a beautiful 3D printed mandala, and those too will radiate similar frequencies to what you would find in RAYD8. So looking forward to that as well too. So a lot of new stuff is coming down the pipe for AetherX.co. Tune in next week. I'll have a lot more information. If you guys are subscribed to the newsletter for AetherX.co, you can find out everything that's happening there. Otherwise, keep tuning into the broadcasts. There's more to share. I'll be here tomorrow again for the Signpost Live as well. All right, moving on. Let's go to the screen. And here is RAYD8. So again, our browser app campaign is all finished. So again, thank you to all donators. And RAYD8 is now available on the Apple Store and Google Play. Okay, we are currently building the browser app right now. So the browser app is in construction. It's in development. And we should have something ready, let's say probably around the time of June. So keep in touch with that. Like I said, if you're signed up to the newsletter already, which is all the way down here. Okay, that's a testimonial, sorry. Here we go. So sign up for Radiate updates. This will keep you in the know about the upcoming browser app that is coming. Okay, so with the browser app, some may ask, well, what is that all about? Well, the browser app is what's going to allow you to work with Radiate, like on your computer, on your PC, on your MacBook, on your Mac, on your smart TV, everything, right? It's just a matter of having an internet connection, going on an internet browser, and then clicking on the website, which will be ready when we get the site all finished. And then you just log in, and then after that, you have access to Radiate, both the free version and the premium version in a browser format. So again, that's going to be outstanding. You can use that in tandem together with the mobile app, because the mobile app and the browser app are cross-compatible, so they'll be able to communicate with each other. The only thing that doesn't communicate with each other is both Google Play and Apple Store, right? So like I said, if you do have Google Play and you do have Apple Store, you basically have to purchase them together, because Apple Store and Google Play just don't talk to each other, right? But if you have if you have a Radiate on Google Play and you got the premium version, then you can use your Google account to log in with the mobile app, and you can access your premium version on the browser app without having to pay again. So that's the great benefit of the browser app, is it's cross-compatible with the appropriate platform that you have through the mobile. Okay, and going on to Radiate Regen. So this is something I just want to read out to you guys. So I was updating the website yesterday. So what can Radiate Regen do for you? Well, it can improve immune system. Our technology can help you to elevate all forms of immune cells and increase immune system efficiency. Number 2, it restores energy levels. Radiate Regen works with bioscalar and amplified natural frequencies to recharge your body's cells to optimal levels so that your body can self-heal. Number 3, it resolves chronic pain. From aches, sores, stiffness, tension, and fatigue, you leave Radiate Regen fully restored and free of discomfort. Number 4, it balances the brain. Radiate Regen is designed to balance brain hemispheres, awaken dormant areas of the brain, and increase brainwave activity. Number 5, it enhances energy system. Chakra centers, acupuncture meridians, nadi flow channels, prana systems, all energy systems in your body are being replenished and balanced with Radiate Regen. Okay? So as I've talked about, Radiate Regen is the industrial strength version of Radiate. There is nothing more stronger than this. It is the absolute most powerful version of Radiate there is. And we're seeing that. We're seeing people, I basically keep in touch with someone in the first 10 minutes, and they're already feeling something amazing, right? And the app is quite powerful as well too, but the app is our scaled down version. That's the scaled down technology, right? So it's kind of like our portable version, our mini version, and it's strong, it's powerful. But like I said, if you really want to feel the full effects of Radiate, you work with Radiate Regen, okay? So Radiate Regen can really only be accessed through healing centers and wellness centers, because that's what it's designed for. It's designed to work with multiple display screens. Okay, so it is similar to, again, I've compared some things to EE systems, right? EE systems and Radiate, the only thing they have in common is that they work with multiple display screens. But the programming with Radiate is completely the opposite of EE systems. Okay, EE systems utilizes computer technology and accelerators to basically generate a cold fusion effect to generate a torus field, which requires multiple monitors, right? Radiate doesn't need that. Radiate just uses multiple monitors just as a means to amplify. It amplifies and strengthens the torus field that is collective. That's a collective torus field when you have multiple monitors together. But Radiate by itself is powerful enough to just run with one screen. And with one screen, that torus field is already generated. Why? Because the torus field is already created in the subtle planes, and everything's being anchored into the interface. So the interface is basically acting as the buffer for that which is already created in the subtle planes. So I work with the subtle planes. I go into the deep concentrated states. I go into spirit command power, and I start bringing that those codes all together, and it links. It links directly to every color. It links to every color bar. It links to every body symbol. It links to everything within the interface, right down to the smallest pixel, where that is radiating throughout the entire screen. So it is nothing like EE Systems in regards to the program itself. The program itself is completely different. It's the complete opposite. The only similarity we have are the sharing of the screens. That's about it. So RAYD8 is its own creation, right? So again, if you guys are in the Lower Mainland of British Columbia, Canada, you can check out. Right now, we are the center that is open currently. There are other centers that are in development, right? I have a couple of places in the United States. I have, again, a place in Israel. I have a place in Australia. I have a place in New Zealand. I have a place in Cambodia, right? So there are centers that are starting to open. Now, here's the most important part for those of you who want to open a center, right? You just get started right here. Start a regen center, okay? And you read all this because this gives you all the information pertaining to what the benefits will be when you sign up for a lifetime membership with RAYD8. Then you go to ready to apply, you click on apply now, okay? You go to apply now, here's the application form, okay? So you fill out the application form to the best of your ability, you submit it, and I review it. And probably after a few days, because I do kind of look into your application quite thoroughly, and then I contact you. Whether you're approved or not, I still contact you, okay? So that, again, is the setup. I've had quite a few people saying, Brad, how do I create a center? How do I create a center? Well, this is it. This is what I'm showing you here to do that, okay? So check that out, RAYD8 REGEN Centers. It is the most powerful version of RAYD8. You are licensing the software, okay? You are not buying units. People get that confused with EE Systems. So EE Systems has its own units. Yeah, RAYD8 doesn't have that. RAYD8 REGEN doesn't have hardware, okay? We have software. So what you're doing is you're getting the equipment for yourself to prepare RAYD8, right? So you may have 8 smart TVs. You may have tablets. You may have PC monitors hooked up to a PC box, multiple monitors. All of that works, okay? But what you're getting from us is the video software. That's what you're paying the $2,000 for. And you're also paying for the co-promotional service that we're doing for you for a full year, okay? That's really where the money is going. So the software itself is the $2,000 price tag, okay? But everything in regards to equipment, because I give you some good recommendations that make it very affordable so that you can set up the RAYD8 REGEN quite quickly, right? You can basically have it up in a few days, and then you're ready to go, right? Of course, not counting your furniture, whatever furniture you want to get for your clients, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm available to help you. And again, you go into the membership area, you get instructional tutorial videos there. You get documents. You get, of course, the 60% wholesale discount from AetherX as well, too. So it's a tremendous bargain. So check that out, radi8regen.com. Okay, so we're all done here now for announcements. We're going to go ahead now and move on into Adronis. Adronis is going to be coming through, and he's going to be talking about Earth's destiny. So I'm looking forward to this. After that, we'll be taking some questions for everybody, okay? And we're probably going to go to about 9:20, 9:25 today, as I have to get ready to do some clients here for RAYD8 REGEN. All right, so clients are coming in, and I have to get the place all ready for them. All right, so let's go ahead now, and hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Good to see you all. And we'll get into questions right afterwards. All right, so I'll go ahead and bring Adronis in, and we'll get started. Here we go. Terra Soul Star Sirius Adronis We are here at this time. We bid you greetings and thank you very much for the opportunity of this interaction today. I am Adronis of Sirius, sending love, appreciation, and gratitude to all who are tuning in to this broadcast through your internet collective consciousness. What we'd like to ask all of you to do at this time is simply allow yourselves to get relaxed, get comfortable, and tune into the vibrations of Sirius so that you may synchronize, harmonize, and align to all of the information that we have to share. Also understand that all of the information that we shall provide today is simply that of our perspective, our point of view. For all knowledge, all information, all creation itself resides within your very hearts, beings, and souls. We will elaborate further on the topic of discussion today, which is the Earth's destiny. The Earth herself has been a profound mother to many different species, even going all the way back into her humble beginnings, way before man ever arrived on this planet. She has hosted a variety of different civilizations. If we were to give an estimate on the number of civilizations up into your current day to which she has hosted, it would be well up into 123, approximately, different civilizations to which she has hosted upon her sphere. 123 civilizations. Some of those particular civilizations never made it into their advancement. They became very warlike. They became very polarizing. They became very aggressive and were, shall we say, neck deep in the degree of, shall we say, polarized separation consciousness, completely and totally ignorant to the idea of the one. And so there were some civilizations that were never able to, as you would say, graduate into a state of advancement. And what do we mean by the state of advancement? Is where your civilization begins the phase of prosperity, moving more and more closer to unified consciousness, to unity consciousness, to harmony altogether with the earth, with life, with the galaxy, with the universe. There were some who did not prosper in that way. Now, we're not saying humanity is not doing that, but you're learning something by understanding some of these civilizations. These civilizations really did not have names. The only names that exist are the names that you give them. But we could basically refer to them as, shall we say, precursor civilizations. Precursor civilizations in that sense that there were those that were humanoid in appearance. Some of them in that sense also had other particular characteristics. Some were reptilian in nature. Some in that sense were also insectoid in nature. Some of them, again, did have certain humanoid characteristics. And they were, again, part of land masses that are no longer significant to identity, because the land masses that are available upon your planet right now are basically the result of millions upon millions upon millions of years of cataclysms. And basically, we would say that there was a lot more landmass upon the Earth back in those times, going back several hundreds of millions of years. In fact, we would say that there was a great deal of 25% added landmass more than what you are experiencing today. So again, everything was much more, shall we say, connected together as a dynamic plate of land. And there are many different treaties. There were, again, other civilizations that came here. Some were refugees, and there were those who were, as it were, indigenous. And there was cooperation in the beginning that later led into, shall we say, polarized conflicts. And this led to war. War has been something that the Earth herself has been hosting for quite a long time. And then, of course, we fast forward now into the human civilization, where the human civilization also started off very, very similar, because the pattern really is just the same. Whereas you start off as a unified consciousness, you start off and you work together. Then come the refugees. And the refugees, therefore, start to inhabit the planet. And they came from a world that was very warlike, very polarizing. they would go into the indigenous cultures. They would basically start to introduce themselves at first. Later on, it would lead to the idea of battles. It would lead to warfare. It would lead to fighting because of the limited resources that are available on the planet. And the idea that many of these refugees that come here are often used to rulership. And when they find an indigenous civilization that has no such thing, this gives them a ripe opportunity to basically feel like they could take advantage of those who they consider to be naive. And that is what leads into war. Warfare continues. So this is a recurring cycle upon the earth. The earth has had this particular cycle, which we can identify with the 123 different civilizations that have been upon this planet, both on the surface and into the surface. So when you're looking at the 123 civilizations to which Earth herself, or shall we say humanity, upon the Earth itself represents the 123rd civilization, it is a pattern that we now start to see. It's becoming quite obvious. But the Earth's destiny altogether is to let you go through this, is to let you go through your golden age, moving much more deeper into a dark age, prospering into a twilight age, and then moving back into an even more prosperous golden age. And that has happened with all 123 civilizations upon the planet. And through you being the 123rd civilization on the earth, we feel that you will not need to repeat this course again as a collective. There are some of you who may, there are some of you who will not, but as a collective, humanity will be able to move forward. And the ones who do need to repeat this will not really be on the earth. They will be moving themselves out of the earth plane through their own means, going into different forms of planetary spheres to relearn a lot of what they need to learn. Because again, many of them are into manipulation, many of them are into greed, many of them are into threats, many of them are warlike, many of them in that sense simply are looking out for number one, as it were. And that is again what needs to be brought forward into deeper states of re-education. It's repopulation that is taking place here. It is not depopulation. We have spoken about the nature of repopulation again, where the idea of those in that sense who are not able to continue to move forward where the earth is looking to go can't be here. Just can't happen. Again, it's the idea of you trying to run after a train that has already left the station. The train has already left. Are you going to start sprinting down the tracks trying to catch a train that's going 125 miles per hour? We don't think so. You've missed that opportunity. And this is where we're talking about is that there may be trains together with other trains where others are trying to jump off from one train onto another train. Some may make it, some may not. But the whole idea here in that sense is that humanity itself as a collective will prosper. And it's because of repopulation. There will be those in that sense that will leave this earth who will always be guided. They will always have help. They are not in this by themselves because God leaves no one behind. It is always available for you, whether you are in the body or whether you have left your body. You will always have assistance. But where that assistance comes is through your surrendering to it. The surrendering to all of your events that you have experienced in your life that has brought pain. Because you're welcoming in spirit. Spirit, take care of this for me. I surrender to it all. Very good. And it will then happen because your sincerity pertaining to that request makes it happen. So the whole key here is that humanity as a collective is going to prosper. What is ahead for humanity? With what you are going through right now, this is all part of the growing pains. This is all part of the transitional labor. And again, it's like a woman that is pregnant. Once she starts moving into transitional labor, things start getting very intense. The pain may escalate. The pressure may escalate. Everything starts to feel like the world is caving in on her. But then the transitional labor goes through, and before she knows it, the young consciousness is now born into the world. Well, that is exactly what the earth herself is going through. Her destiny is to be the mother of every single civilization that has come here, that is supposed to be here, to evolve, to advance. She's being your teacher. She's being your mother. She's being your womb. She's helping you to understand life in the greatest way that you can understand it, through the immense amount of variety of life forms that are upon her planet, that are upon her body, that are upon her surface. There is so much that you can learn from the earth, because she allows everything. She lets everything happen. This is why you have had the incredible amount of contrast upon this planet. For people that are loving and heart-centered, to people that are selfish, to people that are manipulating, and to people who only want to start war. Both have been welcome, and everything in between that contrast has been welcome, up until a certain point. Because now that that is happening, there is, again, as we've talked about, the repopulation and moving into a time of advancement. When advancement comes, the weeds themselves are being pulled out of the field because they are now the same size as the wheat. Going back into your own Jesus, who is talking about this parable. Instead of pulling out all of the weeds right now when they are small, wait until they grow. Wait until they are the same size as the wheat. Then pull them out, put them in bundles to be burnt. And that is precisely what is taking place. It is the idea of not only this collective transformation taking place, but this is also what's happening inside yourself. This is what's happening inside your own garden. You have to let these traumas grow to the point where they are the same size as the wheat stalk as well. Then they are noticeable and they can be released. But the whole idea here in that sense is that awareness, that willingness to go inside and tend to your own garden. The earth is working together with her own immune system, yourselves, to help pull out these very big weeds right now. But you're also doing that as you tend to your own garden. As above, so below. As within, so without. It's the same principle. Her destiny is to be the mother, to nurture you, to help you, to realize just how beautiful you are, how loving you can be. Looking at the splendor of the Mother Earth and her divine nature that she has given to you freely. Man will charge for such things. Man will put a price tag on such things. Man will start to harvest resources and create the idea of business. But that has never been the Earth's plan. The earth wants to give you everything that she has freely. But this is what we're talking about, is the idea of these refugees coming in that have been here for a very, very, very long time and basically trying to exploit and monetize the nature of the earth's resources, and basically trying to give you, through a very hefty price tag, what the mother wants to give you for free. That again is part of the learning. That again is part of this expression of yourself where you're noticing that these things are happening and you realize this is not the way. This is not how the Mother Earth was ever to take care of us. She is giving everything to us for free. It is man that wants to monopolize it. It is man that wants to make a monetary profit off everything, to make the monetary profit off your food, off your water, off your lands, everything. This is not the way. This is not how humanity is supposed to live. And when there's more of you clicking in like that, there's going to be profound changes ahead, because you will come en masse and you will stand together for this change, because that's where you're going in the future. as you would say. You are going towards a planet where now everything is freely given and you are giving back. You are giving back by working with her. You are giving back by maintaining her beauty. That was humanity's role from the beginning. Take care of your mother. Make sure she is well maintained. Work with your lands harmoniously. Grow abundantly. Work together with nature. Do not war with it. Why would you war with nature when all nature wants to do is support you? Do you see the madness that comes together when the man's impression of the planet is now brought into the limelight, where you all think it's survival of the fittest and only the strong survive? That is not nature's way. That is man's way. And that is man filled with arrogance and ego, because that is not how nature works. The earth herself is a splendid kingdom, and she wants to provide you with everything. You are her children. That is like a mother taking a baby to her breast, feeding the baby, and then giving the baby a bill afterwards for all the milk it's drank. Do you not think that that is madness? Well, that's exactly what's happened to you. Man has charged man from drinking from the mother's breasts. That's what's happened. And so this is where you're realizing and saying, no, 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 this is not the way to live. Man has industrialized this world. Man has made this world his or her property, and trying to monetize and monopolize everything that the earth herself gives freely. And like we said, you are not the only civilization that has done this. You certainly do it to quite an extreme, but other civilizations have gone through this before, where they attempt to again industrialize the earth. They basically have caste systems, where you have the lower ranks here, where they are basically digging in the mud. They are servants. They are rather slaves. And then you have the next caste above them, which represent workers, where they have a little bit more, shall we say, bite of the crust pertaining to the industry. And then you have the higher castes in that sense that represent the priesthoods. And then you have the royalties. So that again is very similar to what has been happening on this planet with all civilizations. We would say about 123 civilizations has had some particular type of indication of that particular type of caste system, because it's the same with humanity. You have caste systems. You may not think that you do, but you do. You basically have the slaves, you basically have the workers, you basically have the higher ups, and you have the royals. That's really how it has worked, because that is the draconian philosophy that has been happening here for a very, very, very long time. And many civilizations have fallen for that particular draconian design. Some have been able to break through, some have not. It all just depends on which civilization you're looking for. But as we stated, we don't really have names for them because man is responsible for the names. All we can say is that there are 123 civilizations up to your present day that have occupied this planet. And that Earth's destiny is to help you understand that she is your mother, that she is giving all of this to you freely, that she wants you to propel up. But the time has come. She's already making her way up the heavenly planes. And at some particular point, she will station herself into the next plateau of the higher heavens. That will be quite some time before that takes place. But nonetheless, the ascent is taking place. We're not talking about an ascension, but just the idea of moving up the mountain. And that's where she is going. That's where she is moving. She is already moving. You have to catch up. If you fall behind, then again, it is going to lead to disasters because you're not getting the mother's support. You're not staying with her. You're loosening your grip voluntarily. because you're too distracted by other things that have nothing to do with the mother's care. And her destiny is to help you. And she can always encourage you to take that big leap so that she can hold your hand. But she can only hold your hand for so long because she's making the transit now. She's making that advancement transit. And the key for you right now is to realize just how loving the mother is. Even with that big leap, you can still hold on to her hand. She's always reaching for you. But you have to reach back. And you have to put aside all of these things that are making you sick, that are making you ill, that are making you unwell. Problems with your family, problems with your friends, problems with your career, problems with your finances, problems with world events. All of that needs to be let go of so that you can stay with what truly matters, the mother's care, because that is the Earth's destiny. All right? We thank you very much for the opportunity of this interaction. We will now pause and begin a question and answer period for all of you. One moment, please. Okay, very good. That was a beautiful transmission. Hope you guys enjoyed it as well too. So we are the 123rd civilization here on the planet. That's amazing. That's the first time Adronis has brought up that information. So that's a wonderful, wonderful transmission. All right. So again, I hope you guys have enjoyed that. Thank you again for being here. We're going to go ahead now and get into questions. Now, again, if you guys do have donation-based questions, that will put you in priority sequence. Otherwise, I'm just going to be going through the list from up to down. We're both on Rumble and YouTube here. So let's go ahead and start off at the top. I don't see any donation-based questions just yet. Okay, so this one here is from Mary Gilling. Mary says, "Hi, Brad. The event Adronis talked about coming in the summer. Will it still happen, please?" Let's ask Adronis. All right. We thank you very much, Mary, for your question. As it pertains to what we have shared about a major event taking place between the spring and summer time of this year, it's still on course. Yes, it hasn't changed. It has not in that sense left momentum. Now, this is not something that is highly negative that we will say, although some people will believe it will be. Some people will think it will be something very negative, whereas we see it much more as the opposite. How you see it is up to you. But it is basically supported by a massive transit taking place within your star system right now. Astrologically, you can find this. And it is leading into a major event that is basically, shall we say, going to shatter some veils. That's what we can share regarding this event. It is going to, again, cause you to see things a lot more deeper to which you could not see before. Because as we stated, there are a multitude of events that are leading into this culmination. We are not talking about the event, all right? That's not what we're talking about. This is a major event that's taking place, and that's one out of many sequences that at some particular point will lead to the event. But this is a major event taking place between your spring and summer time, and you will know when it happens. It will be everywhere, all right? So again, this is something that some may see, oh my goodness, this is pretty horrifying. When in fact, it really isn't. But again, there will be those who will think so. Could it be about war? Possibly. Could it be some sort of financial interruption? Possibly. Could it be the idea in that sense of a major earth change? Possibly. Again, as we stated, there are many events taking place right now that is culminating this particular event. All right. But this particular event is a shattering of veils. So we want you to pay attention to what we're talking about when we say shattering of veils. It's very much a situation that is going to unfold that many of the controllers upon this planet do not want you to see. And that's what we can tell you. But it has gotten to that point where this event will crack open and splinter many different veils because it is an eye-opening event, and it is still in the momentum of taking place between the spring and summertime of this year. That's what we can share about. All right. Thank you very much. Okay, very good. So we just have to kind of keep an eye on things and see how things go. But yes, he basically has talked about spring, summertime. It may even come into a bit of the early fall as well too. But around that gap, around that chasm, around that window of opportunity, there is some big major event that is going to take place, as he says, that's going to shatter some veils. So it could be something, could be a big disclosure, right? Could be, again, the idea of trying to build up a war and then watch it sizzle, right? Watch it sizzle down and watch it be completely and totally imploding, where that will not happen, right? I've done a infinite intelligence report about that as well too. And that again represents a possibility. We just have to see exactly what the spring and summertime bring us and just be open to it. But something very big is aligning to happen here between the spring and summertime this year. Okay. Thank you, Mary. All right. So let's go to Duck Deakus. Interesting name. Okay. So Duck Deakus says, question for Adronis. When are we going to get to see the real evidence and footage of what these elite have been doing behind closed doors? How brutal will the evidence be for humanity? Okay. One moment. We thank you very much for your question. Well, again, you're looking for evidence. And the whole idea is that it's all about what you feel is appropriate evidence for you, because believe us when we say that you go into the dark web, you will find a great deal of unsettling footage, unsettling, revealing that will be brought to you. But the whole idea is that you all have layers of what you believe proof to be. You feel that proof needs to be brought to you through an official. It needs to be brought through somebody who has some particular type of authority. But the whole idea is that your own intention of that authority can be skewed. Because you can have an authority figure coming on a press conference, showing you these pictures, showing you this video footage, but because you warrant so much respect to that authority figure, even if that person is bluffing you, you will consider that sufficient evidence. So again, what is proof to you? Is it video footage? Is it documentation? Is it an authority? Or is it something that you personally have to experience yourself? Because even when you personally experience things yourself, you still don't want to believe it. Maybe I was hallucinating. Maybe there's just something maybe I didn't eat enough that day. Maybe I had some starvation of oxygen or something. I just don't want to believe it. Maybe it was just a dream. You see, proof to many of you is subjective. There's no such thing as objective proof. Can't be done. Because someone will deny. Someone, again, relies upon that proof through an agency. So this is why we say that many of you may not be satisfied with what's already available because you have different standards pertaining to what you consider to be proof and evidence. Are you there in person? Are you able to witness this? Are you able to touch it? And is that enough? So what's enough for you? What's the proof for you? That's the whole idea. You all just have different levels and layers of proof. So whenever it decides to touch the layer that you feel meets your standards, perhaps that's something, but that isn't the truth. This is the only truth you will ever know, is when you feel it from within, is when you go into this. And if you decide to explore that through the truth, you will get the answer. But you're relying on externalities to tell you exactly what reality is, and that is where you're going to trip over your own feet. It is not about what you see outside. It is about what the truth is telling you, pertaining to these world events, pertaining to these shenanigans that have happened, The idea of pertaining to what the earth herself is going through to helping you further, that needs to be felt in here. It's not about saying, okay, Mr. Authority Figure, give me all of this proof and I'll believe you. Then you are being foolish because you are relying on an external aid to tell you what the truth is, and that's not the truth. The truth needs to be felt in here, whether you hear it externally and you process it inside and the truth bell goes off. There, now you have discovered what you consider to be evidence. Now you have discovered what you call proof. Proof can only ever be obtained through the nature of the bell of truth ringing within yourself. That's the evidence. So, as we stated, a lot is available at your disposal right now. The veils are so thin. Whether you decide to look at material and it rings your truth bell, great. Whether you hear something from someone, but it rings your truth bell, great. But if you're just looking outside and nothing's happening inside, this is the foolhardy way. You're just looking for some type of satisfaction. You need to be careful with that. It is about letting your truth bell ring inside here, not about the externalities of what's out here. That is where you discover truth, is when that truth bell starts to ring. That is how you understand nature. That is how you understand life. That is how you understand reality. In all the ways it can be expressed is when this bell rings. All right? We thank you. Okay. And that's very, very good sharing there as well, too, guys. We have to be careful about everything because, like I said, guys, 90 to 95% of what you read and what you see on the internet is complete and total utter garbage. Okay? Really, there's only that 5 to 10%. And like I said, that 5 to 10% can be quite accessible, right? And it basically is hidden in plain sight. But again, in order for you to know what is the truth, you have to let that truth bell sound within yourself. Okay, there's a lot of people that are going to deceive you. There's a lot of stories that are going to deceive you because, again, we're always looking external for the truth, and you're never ever going to find it. You're never ever going to find it. You're never ever 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 going to find it externally. It's not possible, right? You'll have 1,000 different stories right here. And then you start tuning into here, and now you're actually getting the impulse where you are sharing what is actually happening. And it just rings the bell, and you feel it within every cell of your body. You feel it within every fiber of your being. That light just shines upon you. And that is the truth. That's it. There's such a difference. And again, this is just a part of man's conditioning about thinking that we need to see something externally to believe in it. And that is basically, as P.T. Barnum says, a sucker is born every minute with that idea, right? The only truth is what you feel in here first, and then express it to the world. All right. Let's go forward and move on. All right. This is from Turn Up Every Day. So he asks, hello, Brad and Adronis. Is it beneficial for the body to consume fermented drinks or vegetables and contain living probiotic cultures like kefir, kombucha, or kimchi? Well, I can cover this one. Now, basically, when you're looking at fermented beverages or probiotics in that way, you want to make sure that those probiotics aren't mingling with harsh bacteria that's contained in your gut. Okay, if there's a lot of harsh bacteria contained in your gut, guess what's going to happen? You're going to have a conversion take place. You're going to take all of this millions and millions and millions of culture, and it's going to be completely contaminated, right? The most important thing first is to try and clean out a great deal of that bacteria. Okay, even if there's a little bit of bacteria, it's still going to be okay. But if your gut is just festering with rotting food and bad bacteria, and there's a disease in there as well too, those probiotic cultures aren't going to do that much, right? You want to make sure that you're cleansing the gut. Okay, you really don't see a lot of the indigenous cultures basically giving you a bunch of probiotic drinks. Right? Rather, they're going to examine you, they're going to look at you, and they're going to give you substances. They're going to help to clean and expel everything that's in the gut that's not supposed to be there. And then with that, they give you medicinal properties that help with the microbiome. Okay. That's really the way. So it's not about, and again, there's a lot of drinks that you can get off the shelf, right? Kombucha and kimchi and kefir and all that stuff. And that's great. And that can be beneficial if your gut's healthy. If you have a very unhealthy gut and you are drinking that stuff, that is detrimental to you. Okay. That's adding fuel to the fire. First of all, we have to cleanse. We have to get that debris out. We have to clean the gut out, whether that's colon cleansing or doing whatever, right? And just cleaning out the intestinal tract, getting as much of that harsh bacteria out of the way as possible. We also want to work together in building up the intestinal lining as well too. RAYD8 is great for that, okay? But being able to just drink a lot of this probiotic stuff, all of this that's basically feeding new cultures, like I said, that's a great thing, but it's not a great thing if your gut is infested with nasty bacteria, okay? That's what's got to go first. Then, after that, start adding these particular probiotic cultures to that. This is something I've had to learn myself, right? Because I was a big fan of kombucha. I was drinking it for years, right? But again, if your belly is not in good shape, if your gut's not in good shape, it's going to worsen the situation. It's not going to make it better. Clean out the gut first. Then you could have something like that, okay? Thank you for your question. Okay, so this one here is from Ike. Hello, Ike. Ike says, hi, Brad and Jonas. With so much talk of energies wrapping up to June 3rd, how do these energies affect us down here in South Africa, especially with the election coming up on May 29th? They're going to affect the entire planet, right? I've done a lot of discussions relating to South Africa, okay? And basically what's going to happen with South Africa is you guys need to heat up big time first before you can break through, all right? So this is something that I've talked about quite a bit in previous webcasts. Even when I had Janine here last time, she was talking about South Africa as well too. And it's basically that things really need to heat up. They need to heat up to the boiling point with South Africa so that something new can come together. So like I said, guys, things kind of have to get more intense before they get better. I'm not going to say worse, okay? But things need to get a lot more intense. It basically needs to be at the point where you feel like you're about to lose everything. That's when you know things are reaching the boiling point, and then things start to turn around. The reason why things are turning around is because people are coming together. They're all agreeing on these shenanigans that are taking place, and they want to take action. They want to plan. They want to brainstorm together, and they want to take action to the point where they said they've had enough, okay? South Africa is no different. You guys are going to be going through a lot of intense heat. And as I've talked about, this may relate to riots. This may relate to heavy, harsh protests as well, too, because the people have had enough. I've been to South Africa in 2019. I've been around the townships. I've been around the heart of Johannesburg. And as soon as I was there, I was getting these visions of just angry, angry people taking to the streets. They've had enough. They're calling out their leaders. They're calling out the politicians. And they're not going to move a single foot until change takes place, okay? South Africa, no different, okay? Do not concern so much about elections. Elections do have marker points, but what's really going to lead the charge are the people, right? The people are going to demand that there is fair leadership. If there is not fair leadership, there is going to be revolts, okay? And I see a lot of revolts taking place in South Africa, okay? I basically see a lot of you calling out corrupt leaders that you know are corrupt. You're basically going to have rallies. You're going to be calling out leaders, and you're going to be demanding that justice be served upon them, right? That, again, is South Africa at its boiling point, okay? With that boiling point taking place, there's going to be results coming out of it, and it is going to be very positive. But you're not quite there yet. You still have to go through the boiling point, right? And you're kind of in the middle of the soup right now where it's just starting to boil quite heavily, okay? And I just see a lot of you calling out leaders. I see a lot of you just getting in their faces, so to speak, and demanding that justice be served, okay? That's what I see for the heart of South Africa right now. It needs this. This is long overdue, okay? 2024, 2025, are the intense periods of South Africa. But it is going to lead to resolve. As I said, things need to intensify first before they get better. But that intensity will bring about betterment. Okay? Thank you, Ike, for your question. Okay. A lot of this, I'm basically just tuning in intuitively. I'm talking to South Africa. Fine. Okay, South Africa, what do the people need to do? They need to revolt. They need to call people out. They need to call out the corrupt. They need to work together. They need to reach that boiling point. They need to know that justice is being served. Once that happens, better times are going to happen for South Africa. But 2024, 2025 for South Africa are those intense boiling points. Okay, that's what's coming to me to tell you. All right, so take that for what it's worth, but that's what's coming through. Okay, thank you, Ike. Okay, take another glass of water here, and I'll go to Martin's question here. Okay, so Martin asks, hey, Brad and Adronis, what can Adronis tell us about numerology and the meaning of double or triple digits? Okay, one moment. We thank you very much, Martin. Well, we have spoken to many of you about this before, relating to the nature of numerology that, again, can associate together with astrological energy. You see, astrology and numerology together are a language. They are a language that you learn. This is why you have to take many years to study the nature of astrology, to study the nature of numerology, because numerology works together in tandem pertaining to events. All right. So you need to look at the importance of 0. You need to look at the importance of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Don't worry about 10. Just from 0 to 9. And if you start looking into the bases, the base functionality of these numbers, to which they signify, when you move them into double, triple, or even quadruple, shall we say, simultaneity, you are getting the idea of certain things locking, certain things unlocking, certain things breaching, certain things opening, certain things closing, certain things expanding, certain things ascending, certain things descending, a richness of energy that's coming forward, a contraction of energy going back. That's really the language of number. Number is telling you about the sequences pertaining to certain degrees of energies that relate to the correlation of particular events to let you know about what's flowing and what's not. What's flowing and what's not. Many of you say, oh, these are the numbers of the angels. Well, again, all right. But the whole idea is that it really isn't about that. The whole idea is that your guides can send you certain calibrations because those are numbers. If you are in connection with the angels, they can communicate with you through number. But the number itself is not owned by any particular race. It is a universal language. So let us say that we give you a combination here. This combination would be what you would term as 1, 1. Just the 11. All right? But you're looking at 1, 1 together. What does this signify? This signifies the opening of a gateway. This represents expansion. Now, this is why there have been certain forms of world events that have been triggered on 11 dates, because that's a transmitter. That's a transmitter. That's an expansion. That's what enables energy to expand and travel tremendously. And that is opportune times to basically have such world events that could put an entire civilization in fear in one day by having it on an 11. Now, it can also work in the opposite direction. Having the 11 and bringing prosperity to the entire planet on that day, where everybody feels such love, happiness, joy, and support. That's the power of the 11. It is the transmitter. It is God expanding everything that represents the significator of a particular event that is utilizing the power of number. So we could talk to you about this for hours. But the most important thing is that if you do not understand numerology, you really won't know what we're talking about. You have to study numerology because it's a language. You have to study astrology because it's a language. It's telling you about the principles of energy. And again, the combinations of energy that are sequated to appropriate events that are taking place to giving you an idea about how events form, because events will form through number. This is why we say that when time comes, when the stars align, the timing is taking place through the barricades of time, representing the significator of number, representing measurement. Time is just a measurement. So you're looking at the markers pertaining to time when something has actually occurred. When was the exact time this situation occurred? What was the exact date? And now you can discover the numerological significance by looking at the equations and bringing them together. But if you do not understand numerology, you will not know what we're talking about. This is where you have to be a little bit more acquainted with the language. You have to know the 0 to the 9. And then as you understand that, you'll see its significance as a double digit, as a triple digit, as a quadruple digit, as a quintuple digit, etc. It continues to goes down the line because you're looking at amplification. You're looking at withdrawal. You're looking at expansion. You're looking at contraction. You're looking at ascent. You're looking at descent. You're looking at what's opening. You're looking at what's closing. That's the name. That's the number language. That's the binary. Zeros and ones, zeros and ones, zeros and ones. And it all equates to the nature of energy. The principles of energy, it associates with astrology, because astrology itself is also calculated by mathematics. It is calculated by number. Number is what governs everything pertaining to physical reality. That's how things manifest in the way that they do. The coordinates of where you are on your planet are therefore governed by numerical sequences. What you experience to the nature of events, how your days go, is all based upon numerical calculations. The simple DMAS. Divide, multiplication, addition, subtraction. That's all you need. You don't need anything else. You don't need calculus. You don't need trigonometry. You don't need anything like that. Basic math. That's it. Just being able to calculate and coordinate the nature of these numbers based on where you are, based on where incidences have happened, and you're now calculating them and you're discovering the numerical significances because you've been studying how the numbers themselves work and what they represent and how they can combine. A true numerologist knows this. A true astrologer knows this. It is all about energy, and number is what is giving you the significator of the different principles of energy that govern the nature of events upon your planet, be it personal, be it collective. So study it if you want to know about it, rather than trying to take a crash course to where we go deep with you and you don't understand. Study what interests you. That's what we can suggest. All right. Thank you very much. Okay. Straight to the point. So I love Adronis. He gets really direct to it. Okay. How are we on time here? Okay, guys, we're going to take about 5 more minutes of questions, and we're going to go into group healings. We are running out of time. Okay. Okay, let's go down the questions here a bit more. Okay, this one here is from Alina. Hi, Alina. Alina says, Adronis, what unconditional love feels like, how to get into that pure state of love more effectively. Okay, here we go. We thank you very much, Alina, for your question. Now, again, we have also talked about this, the nature of unconditional love. Do you feel that unconditional love needs to be worked on? Any of you? We may hear many of you saying no. Well, you're right. Why would love require an effort? You see, the effort that you're putting in is the antithesis of you actually feeling unconditional love. You see, you have the finger trap in between the 4 fingers here, and you're trying to make an effort to get that finger trap off of you. And that's what you're utilizing to think, well, if I can just struggle to the point where I put so much energy, then all of a sudden I'll feel unconditional love. Wrong. That's not what unconditional love is. Love is the complete and total union principle. It is what brings you into connectedness with everyone and everything, with all that is. It's the union principle. Love is union. So if you're struggling and fighting here, what is that telling you? You're in a duality. You are dueling yourself here by trying to struggle and crop and just put so much energy trying to push out your fingers through that finger trap. And it's not going to work. The more you struggle, the tighter the grip becomes. You will not discover love by effort. Oh, it's such an effort to love, then you're not loving. You have an erroneous idea of what you think love is when that's not what it is at all. Love has nothing to do with effort. It is effortless. It is the complete and total union principle of everything. It is the very substance that bonds everything together. When you are struggling, when you are fighting, when you are conflicting, when you are hurting yourself, when you are hurting others, you're not going into love. You're going into the antithesis of what love is. You're going into struggle. You're going into fighting. You're going into chaos. You're going into suffering. You're going into fear. Anytime something ruffles your feathers, there's fear. Anytime something represents an injustice within yourself, there's fear. Anytime you're pointing a finger at someone or something, angry about it, there's fear. All of that requires effort. For you to maintain fear involves effort. For you to be in love is no effort at all. You come in their room and you see this loved one who is waiting there for you with a smile on their face. Does it take an effort for you to smile back? No. It's wonderful to see them again. It's like the whole room is just lighting up because there's no effort involved. It's the complete and total union principle that love represents. So why do you think you need to work on love? You don't. Work and love, not compatible. You do not need to work on love. What you are learning to let go of is your fear, your anger, your sadness, your fear. That's what's taking the effort here. That's what's putting you, that's what's jamming you in a corner. Not love. Love does not have that. Unconditional love comes through unconditional surrender. It is here at the center where you are still, where you are silent, because you have engaged in surrender. You have let spirit take care of everything, and all of those problems wash away. If you try to use your human identities to try and clear away problems, guess what's going to happen? More problems are going to propagate because your own human ways of doing things are just going to add more fuel to the fire. It's going to add more force. Whereas you let all that go and you let the fire be quenched because you have become silent, you have become still, and you have engaged in surrender, and you have let spirit in, and spirit takes care of everything. When spirit is coming in, that's what we're talking about with love. When spirit comes in, that is the union principle. That's what love is, dearest human beings of planet Earth, and you are capable of all of it. You've forgotten because you are being distracted by all these things that require your effort, require your effort, require your effort. I got to get this done. If I don't get this done, here's the consequence. Oh, well, that consequence really, really scares me. So I better do this and dedicate all my time to turning this wheel until I get so incredibly exhausted. And then I'm being told to put my hands back on it again and turn it some more, and then turn it the other way, and then turn it this way. What are you doing? You have not given yourself the opportunity for one moment to feel the expansion, to feel the spaciousness, to feel the silence, to feel the stillness, and to engage in surrender, because Spirit is taking you by the hand. Because love is taking you by the hand, and it is an effortless hand connection. This, Alina, this, everyone, is the nature of the union principle to which you term as love. It is union. It is interconnectedness. It is omnipresence. It is omnipotence. It is omniscience. Love is the substance of the union principle, and it requires no effort at all. Period. And when you understand that, you will love in ways you can't even imagine. You will love in ways because love will help you to take the actions that are helping you to resolve all the problems that you're facing. When you trust it, you will know exactly what you need to do when you need to do it. You know exactly what to resolve at the time it needs to be resolved, because you trust the union principle. You trust the substance of union, which is love. Let it speak to you. Let it come to you. And the answers will come, and all of the heaviness washes away. And that all comes effortlessly through yourself. And the actions you follow are so incredibly simple, through love being your guide, that it feels effortless. We want you all to write that down right now. Effortlessness is the substance of love. And the love substance is what fills union. That's what it's all about. And when you embrace that and bring it into you fully, behold unconditional love, because you will know all, you will see all, you will be all by the substance of the union principle, to which you term in your language of English as love. We thank you very much for the opportunity of this interaction today. I am Adronis of Sirius, and we will now conclude and speak to you again in another perspective of the now. Goodbye. Okay, very good. Alina, there you go. So Adronis will come forward and he will share this with you. It's great to have that energy with him. It really is. Okay, everybody, we're going to go ahead now and do a group healing. So for those of you who have requested healing or need a healing in that sense, if it's for yourself, it's for others, you will be able to do both. Okay, we're going to do prana transmission technique today. Okay, and working together with prana transmission technique, right, we're also going to work with the release ball, right? So this is prana transmission technique. This is release ball. So number one, if you are doing this for another person, I want you just to firstly get yourself comfortable. Okay, keep your spine nice and straight. And I want you just to take your hands together and rub them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, expanding that ball. Okay, with that ball expanded, I want you to close your eyes. I want you to see the person that you want to do a healing on. Okay, not really doing a healing, but you're facilitating this energy for them. Okay, the energy will go into them. The body will absorb that energy, and the body, their body, will do the healing. All right, we're just giving them energy. It's all we're doing. Okay, now I want you just to hold that ball directly in front of their hologram. Maybe it's your mother, maybe it's your father, maybe it's your brother, maybe it's your sister, maybe it's your husband, maybe it's your wife, maybe it's your best friend, maybe it's your next door neighbor, whoever it may be. Okay, and you're just seeing them directly in front of you. And I want you to put that ball and you're just scanning them from head to toe. Okay? Everything that you feel they want to relinquish, they want to let go of, well, that's the substance that's coming into the ball. Okay? So you're just scanning them from the top of their head, going down to the bottom of their feet, back up to the bottom of their feet, back up to the top of their head. Okay? If you're doing this for somebody else, this is what you're doing. Okay? If you're doing it for yourself now, we're taking that ball and you're just self-scanning. Top of your head, going all the way down to the bottom of your feet. Anything that you want to relinquish, whether it's sickness, whether it's illness, whether it's an emotional hardship, whether it's a mental hardship, whether it's spiritual blockages, anything, okay? Going all the way down the bottom of your feet and then coming all the way back up, and you're feeling that ball getting filled up with all of this debris, okay? It's like collecting the garbage, so to speak. It's collecting the refuge within your body that represents all of this debris that's making you ill. Okay, it can be contaminations, it can be metals, it can be poisons, it can be chemicals. Okay, you're just letting the ball go through your body and saying anything that does not belong, bring it into the ball. Okay, and you're scanning it, going from the head, going all the way down to the feet, back up again, feet, all the way back up to the head. Okay, and now you're just letting this ball levitate directly in front of you. And I want you just to be aware of the ball. You don't have to be deeply visual. Just know as soon as I let go, the ball is just hovering there. Okay? Now we're going to go into the prana transmission technique principle of this group healing. Okay? So again, rubbing your hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Transmission posture right here. Okay? Ball is hovering directly in front of you, whether this is for yourself or whether this is for the other. Okay? And all I want you to do right now is with the transmission posture there, taking a deep breath in, tucking in your belly a little bit. Okay, you're just tightening the ab muscles. That's all you're doing. You're not sucking it in. You're just tightening. Okay? And you're just breathing in through the nose. 1, 2, 3, 4, and out for 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Once more. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, very good. So all you're doing now is you're going to start doing Om chanting. Okay, you're going to either Om chant mentally or you can Om chant verbally. I will be doing it verbally. If you want to join me, you can. Okay, all you're doing is you're seeing the center point of that ball, whether this is for you or whether this is for the other. Okay, the center point, the nucleus of that ball, that's what you're focusing on. That's what you're aiming on. Don't worry about the debris that's contained inside the ball. Not important. Okay, you're focusing on the nucleus. You're focusing on the center. And the Om chant is going to open up the nucleus and turn it into a black hole. And everything's going to be absorbed out of the ball, and you'll watch it collapse. And that's prana transmission technique. Okay, so you all ready? Let's do this now, either mentally or vocally. Inhale. Remember, just focusing on the nucleus. Inhale. One more time. Inhale. And relax. Okay. I want you to tune into that ball right now. Is that ball still there? Is all the debris still there? Okay. If there is still some, you just come back and you do another 3 rounds, another 3 ohms. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Always aiming at the nucleus and just watching all of that debris getting sucked up. Okay. The reason why we stay in the center is because when you're focused on the center, you're not focusing on all the debris, right? You're not clouded by the concerns of what's contained inside the ball. That will happen if you start looking around the edges of the ball, right? You start looking off center. Oh my God, there's all that debris about when I did this and when I did that, etc. You're getting distracted. You stay to the nucleus. You expand the nucleus, and what's happening? The source-centered vibration. What's happening with source-centered vibration? It's absorbing all that. Scalar. Scalar is coming in and absorbing all that. It's bringing it back into the center, and everything gets enveloped back into the ether. Okay, so inside the center is the ether, and that's what's being absorbed. And you keep doing that. Like I said, do a second run, do a third run. Everything gets sucked up. That is the science of the ether. Okay, the ether has no form. The ether has no image. The ether has no objectness to it. It simply is infinite capacitance. Everything came from the ether. Everything returns back to the ether. That's what you're doing in this exercise. The ether is coming in through the center, absorbing everything, ball gone. Okay? So you guys can let me know how things are going in the comments about doing that simple exercise. I've done this many times throughout the webcasts. I find it one of the most efficient ways of personal healing is working together with prana transmission together with the release ball. So we can just call it the prana transmission release ball technique. Okay, it's combining two particular exercises that I've taught here on this channel. It's in the playlists, right? But you're combining those two, and it's working exceptionally. This is exactly what I did when I was clearing away a lot of debris within myself using prana transmission, using release ball technique. It works magnificently. Okay, and you want to keep doing it. The key here, it really is that, again, how deeply committed are you to getting well, right? Well, here's something that doesn't cost you a thing, doesn't involve you going to an expert, doesn't involve you going to some expensive doctor or anything of that nature. This is something that is within your power to do. I'm showing it to you guys because not only has this worked for me, this has worked for thousands of people that I've demonstrated it to. And I've gotten hundreds of responses from that saying, Brad, I feel amazing after this. I feel really great. Now, only a few of those people keep doing it. Person tries it once or twice and then they stop, right? And that's not the way this is, because you do not see this as an errand. You do not see this as a chore. You are seeing this as a benefactor for yourself. This is your life. See this as life rather than thinking that this is an errand or a chore to do. I really just don't get how people still put up with suffering even though the cure is right in front of their face. I don't understand that at all, right? Because what I'm basically telling you here, guys, is that what you are doing yourself is your cure, okay? I can't expect you guys to cure another person because I've never cured another person, but I can expect you to cure yourself, right? And doing something like this is a cure. Turning on RAYD8 and trying the free version like that is a cure because you're doing it for yourself. Okay, what another person has to do, that's up to them. That is them as a sovereign being. They have to work with these things themselves. But what you can do for yourself, this becomes your cure. Be aware of that. All right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining me today for the live transmission of Wisdom Transmissions. And I'll be back tomorrow at, I believe it'll be either 8 or 9. I'll let you guys know. For the Signpost Live, we'll be doing some more viewer topics tomorrow. Okay. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a great rest of the day. And I'll speak to you tomorrow. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Namaskar. May it be well with you. Goodbye for now.